Sapkalan din ng ito lamite chamge ribang show natin ba Alfred Coach Life kung ito Perth Western Australia habang siya lita mga ito lamite kung ito yata ging gamit ang mapili kung ito ito sige panu athletic na ama dik chama una legin kami ito show ina sige mo chiki gas kay hagegas so ay siya gudi taplan din gora sige gas linet ko mo ito lamite karibu tunin hagin inyo ya sige meta wech comment anani mo ay wech kan liaga tugul mo tika sa live direct agira ka ko tingot no kalau kimi ta kabisa ngolimba Panama Island karibu kung ito wala tak age chama gagi tangole Perth Australia tingi tayo ko patana tak nigi inigibo Cherangany nan labatin dat korana tag nigi ko soman ngi meta umbe ka go wegen dat ko tarat bi Wesley Korir away nan dat korago dat ko gisir anan gi much ko sindan labatin tak nebo Boston Marathon in 2012 kita nyawarang studio la ko nya natak nebo no el marathon coach nigi dure Carren Kibbet na tago nan dat ko ang anan tanangalala ngalaga labatin yung 24 ni Toyota Gigerin and that's come away to missing Zinjang Alega Sports in 24 Magata Stai Taga Jagat to go much cocates go much come away to let us put one jacket Lagan get to Tagan and Agamaja summing the Tutabrani Kingai shown and Anatin Papili and Ginga much came with Victor the Chigipano athletic Wachoronok chok missing wabitanin missing chatinagag labatet kolayiti ay shown at tinagag labatet mo jibashe luga itinatag na batingresa so komut ko kasagi taga konyor koletos se tay na ngeme ta Kenya en nalega labatet ameze kityo sama galing tabrani ke baishen titab ngresa siga mut ko kasagi taga koronok chok chatak chame labatet ako chame Kenya so good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us live on Alpha Courage Life. It's a show gives us a platform to inspire and encourage the younger generation, right from the Rift Valley, and of course the Kalenjin land and across Kenya. Today we have friends right from the media. We have Carren Kibbet from K24, and also we have a former MP from Cherangany and an athlete. So we will be getting to hear from them their experience and why they love sport, and also Carren as an anchor, why and what made her to do sports instead of maybe reading the news. We know we would have wished to see her reading those 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock news and everything. So yeah, so Carren, I think we've lost Wesley due to some internet or some network, but as he comes in, we will give him an opportunity to introduce himself. But for now, Carren, thank you for joining us and thank you for your time. I'll give you an opportunity to just introduce yourself. Tell us who is Carren is, where is she from, and who's this lovely lady. A lot of people have been sending me messages saying, no, we want to see Carren, we want to hear from Carren. Yeah, here she is. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much. Most of my fans are saying that you have to speak in English or Kiswahili because they cannot get Kalenjin. So sijui nani atateseka hapa, but thank you so much. It's such an honor, being on your platform. I don't take it for granted. This is the first time that I actually am on this side, the other side of the microphone, having someone else interview me. So it's quite weird. I'm quite nervous. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what guys want to hear about me. I don't know the
Yeah.
questions you have installed for me, but I am glad it will be good. So guys,
Yeah.
just don't change that live.
Of course, the questions will be
Uh-huh.
great. We'll be here. We are here
Mhm.
to inspire and encourage. So, they're really good
Mhm.
questions. Yeah.
Oh yes. So you had asked, I say something about myself. My name is Carren Kibbet. I rarely say my third name. Only my primary and high school class know that particular name. It's the name I use when I don't want to be a bit official or be incognito somewhere else. But I'm Carren Kibbet. I'm a very young girl, and yes, I was born in Marakwet land, Kapsabet Hospital. I grew up in um, Ushago Kidogo mpaka age 5. From age 5, that's when now my parents brought me to Nairobi, and from there till to date, I've been here in Nairobi. I went um, to Peace Junior Academy in Ngumo, and then from there I went to high school in Singore Girls in Iten. From there, I joined the University of Nairobi. I'm not yet done with school. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
working while still going to school, but it's sad coronavirus happened because I was
Mhm.
to seriously join, school in May, but Corona happened, so that is still on pause.
Yeah.
So my life is it's just a miracle, like just favor upon favor upon favor upon favor, because most people would say that you need a certificate to get to wherever you are, but I am in K24. I'm a sports anchor, I'm a sports reporter without a certificate yet. So
Wow.
it's just proof that God qualifies whoever He calls. You
Yeah.
might think that you're not qualified or you don't make the cut, but God sees something else in you that you don't see and will not see, whether sleeping or standing or on top of whatever you won't see, but God already saw it, and just using your life in order to bless people.
Hmm.
So at times, it's just about God's favor. His favor is much better than a resume. You may have your CV, you may have the best grades, but if
Yes.
God's favor is not on you, you will struggle. We have seen so many people who have been blessed by God, but
Absolutely.
He blesses you mara moja and He doesn't work with you. You
Hmm.
end up ukiteseka, yet you're blessed. You see, but if
Yeah.
He blesses you, He favors you, and He walks with you, you won't suffer. Yes, challenges will come, but He will give you the strength and the grace, to move on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because in life, most people ask grace, God's grace. What is God's grace? Grace, yeah, God. See, there is no absence of challenges. There are
Hmm.
many absence of challenges, but grace is that protection. Like daughter Karen, you will go through a lot. But I am still with you. I will not leave you. I will guide you. I will take you to wherever you want to go. So basically, that is just my life. My life is just a living testimony of what God can do, and remove you from grass to grace.
Amen. Yes. That's
Yes.
very. Yeah. So, thank you for that good intro. And wow, it's already
Mhm.
touching. I already feel it. It's good
Mhm.
to hear that you're a believer and you're a person that believes that God
Mhm.
can raise someone from somewhere to somewhere.
Mhm.
Of course, through
Mhm.
hard work and through some patient persistence, and also having the
Oh
eye
yes,
to go. The
it
he
took a
can
lot of
just,
hard work.
yeah, of course, yes,
And yeah, I'm seeing someone here in my timeline. I've
yes,
also shared this watch party.
yeah,
Someone is saying, what's his name? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Fred Mwanzu. He says, "How did you get the job without a certificate?"
yeah,
So while I was in third year, I just told my mom, I'm no longer staying in this
And
house
also,
again.
before you answer that question, can you just refer and say what sort of course or what sort of studies did you do prior to, or what are you currently doing, so that you can get to understand your field,
What
your
kind of?
field of study?
Oh, I am currently pursuing a BA in broadcast production.
Yeah.
Yes. So
So
I'm totally in line with my career.
what you're doing, yes.
Yes. So I'm seeing Fred Mwanzu is asking me right here, how did you get a job without a certificate? So in my third year, I decided that I need something different in order to get inspiration, because I was just in school for just being in school,
Yeah.
So my neighbor, she's called Maureen Mwende. She used to do sports with Citizen TV, but right now she advanced. She's doing much greater stuff. We used to live in the same apartment. So one day I was just doing my stuff. I was washing clothes, and then she saw me, and she was like, "Hey, Karen, K24 wanatafuta sports interns. Would you be interested?" I was
Yeah.
like, definitely, I'd be interested. So I literally asked all questions, and by the time my discussion with her was over, I knew what exactly I needed to do. So I went back to school and got the attachment letter. I came back home, drafted my cover photo,
Yeah.
and I had my CV ready. And I went now to, I literally kakuja town, nikachukua matatu mpaka kwa stage, nikatembea mpaka K24, and I dropped my CV.
Yeah.
So after a few days, they got back to me and they said, "Hey, Karen, this is so and so, Media Max, blah blah blah, and would love you to come in for an interview." I was like, "Okay, perfect." So I scheduled a date. I was so happy. Unaona kila mtu kwa nyumba venye there's that one wall, ukiingia hivi, everyone can see that wall.
Yeah.
I took a big paper and wrote, "I have an interview on this day at this time at this place," and stuck it at that wall. And I told everyone in the house, "Pray for me. I have an interview." I was
Yeah.
so happy. So wageni wakiingia wanashanga, hii ni nini kwa hii ukuta? I'm like, "Yes, I have an interview." I
Wow.
was so happy.
I can
So
imagine. Yeah. So
yes, I was so happy.
exciting at
And
the
it was
same
just an
time.
interview.
Yes.
Yes. So I went for the interview. I dressed up very well. I even did very long hair. I got one official dress. I wore heels. I
Yeah.
rarely wear heels. I only wear heels in studio, But that day I wore heels to
Yeah.
go do that particular interview.
Wow.
And I found my former boss, Torome Tirike. He was
Yeah.
amazing.
Wow.
And the HR. So they both sat me down and they asked me questions. Asked questions. And they told me, "Sawa, this is an internship post. No, we do not pay.
Mhm.
So we will get back to you." And I went home. I was so happy. I told my mom, "I don't know how I've done in that interview, but let God have his way."
Amen.
So I went home and I waited. A few days later, they called me telling me that, "Karen, you passed the interview and we expect you to come on this day, pick your letter, blah, 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 all those things." I
Wow.
was so
I
happy.
can relate to
Again,
that. Yeah.
yes, again, I took another paper and wrote the same words. "I begin work on this day at this time in this office, as a sports intern." I was
Yeah.
so happy and I stuck it there. My mom was like, Msichana, okay. It was just like, "I bless you and let's see what God has in store for your life." So
Great.
the first day I came, I
Let us give
walked
an
in.
opportunity to, just sorry to cut you. Let's just give an opportunity to Wesley Korir to just introduce himself, because network imerudi.
Bingwa,
Thank you.
how are you?
Yeah.
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. I am sorry, working from home is not an easy job,
I
especially
know.
when you live in a village like mine, there's no internet and stuff. So, but I've been trying to get online, and thank you so much for this show.
Yes.
And thank you for having me.
Karibu sana.
Wesley.
Here to listen to. Are you guys there?
Yeah,
Yes,
but
we
the
can hear you.
network is a bit tricky.
I don't know, this network, bwana, inakuwa tricky sana, but but don't blame me, Safaricom, or somebody who is supposed to give us network. I was wondering, I was wondering about the balloon. Maybe the balloon has not reached my house yet. But I'll try as much as possible to be able to get online and get you guys. But Carren, thank you so much for your story. I think I can relate with what you're saying 100%. Everybody knows me. They know me as Wesley Korir. They know me as the runner. They know me as the member of parliament, politician. But we have stories that the far we have come. It's amazing. And I always when I listen to a story for Carren and so many other people that have such stories, it motivates me and it makes me believe that if you put God first and if you work hard, you will achieve everything you put your mind in. I was born in a village, in a poor family, nothing. I was born in a village whereby it was difficult even in Cherangany during my time. It was difficult to even find somebody who runs. All the people that ran came from Kapsabet, Nandi, Iten, Eldoret. so getting motivated in a place like that as a person who wants to venture into running was very difficult for me. And it's when I look at my life right now, when I look at my life 20 years ago, I always smile and just give the glory to God because of how far
God takes all the glory.
Yeah, he does. He does. But one thing that I always want. One thing that I always like to encourage people is if you have a dream and if you have a vision, it doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is where you are and where you are going. If you put your heart into something, you will achieve it.
Well and truly, yes.
Yeah.
So what we were trying to do as previously when we lost you in regards to the network was that tell us what you did at uni, or tell us where you went to university. When you were in the US, were you a student in regards to, were you paying your school fees or you used your money to study? I saw at some point in time you became a member of parliament in Cherangany, and being an athlete, I was so much touched to see that you had an opportunity to represent us. When you were an MP, you were representing us. Don't go into details because I will ask you a lot. I saw you passed a bill when you were in parliament. You proposed a bill, which is now actually the thing that is driving us in the world of athletics currently, because we have a lot of issues pertaining that. But just tell us about yourself growing up in Cherangany, going to the US, and then we come back to Carren. We will ask her how she grew up at EMC, or how she had a good how is she connected to EMC and things like that. So Korir.
So I grew up in Cherangany, a small village really. It's called Karavani, near Bribriet. I went to Bribriet Primary School. Growing up as a young kid, I wasn't that smart of a kid. Growing up from class 1, class 2, up to class 6, I was a very rude kid in school. I was one of those cheeky kids, those kids that I can remember how many times I didn't go to school. I was hiding in the bush to avoid going to school. But I think when I got to class 6 is when I realized I needed to do something. The village that I grew up in is called Karavani. If you come from the area that I come from, Karavani is a land that was owned by my uncle. He had like a lot of land. It was like 2,000 acres. So my parents didn't have land. They didn't have money. So my father's brother adopted him, and we stayed in his land with workers. So there was a lot of workers that were working there. There were squatters living in this land. And the area, the village was known for Busa and Changa. That is for sure. Like nobody will ever know that anything will ever come out of Karavani. And then so I grew up there, and then I did when I got to class 6 is when my life turned I realized, I needed to do something. I didn't want to live the life of poverty anymore. I needed to do something. And the only thing I knew at that time that could get me out of poverty was education. So I studied very, very hard. I went to school. I did really, really well. Like, I dedicated all my time, all my energy into education. And I started praying a lot. That's when I realized about God. And I started praying a lot. So my life changed from class 6 to class 8. If you go to Bribiriet and you find the records of Bribiriet, I was number 1 from class 6, class 7, class 8. Nobody ever passed me. I did really well in class 8. I joined St. Joseph's High School in Kitale. When I was in Kitale, my parents couldn't pay for my school fees. So I kept being sent home all the time.
Yeah.
And so when I was being sent home all the time, there was a priest called Father Willie Walsh who had come from Ireland, and he was in St. Joseph's teaching English. This priest loved running, and he always, came to the school during games time, and he will take me out to go run with him because he needed a running companion. And he's the one that bought me my first running pair of shoes. First ever running pair of shoes. Father Willie Walsh from Ireland gave it to me. And then he discovered also that I was being sent home all the time because of school fees. So he was asking me, why are you never in school? I told him that I don't have school fees. And I am even in I was so close to dropping out of school. And he said, okay, I'm going to take my salary from my teaching, because he was teaching. And he said he decided to pay for my school fees. And that's how I was able to finish my Form 4. So when I finished my Form 4 in 2001, my cousin, who was living in Eldoret then, needed somebody to help him with, come stay in his house. He was a teacher and his wife was a teacher. So they needed somebody to come and help them with housework. And I had just finished school, and I was like, and he wanted me to come out of Karavani. He told me, if you stay in this village, you're going to be an alcoholic, you're going to die. You're not going to have anything in life. So he brought me into Eldoret. And when I came into Eldoret is when now I saw people running, and I was like, what? I can run, right?
Yeah.
If I'm a Kalenjin, right?
Yeah.
And I was very skinny. So I am a Kalenjin, I have the genes, and I was very skinny, right? And I remember running with a priest. So I was like, why not try?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another long story. I started training, I started running. It was torture. Starting training when you're not growing up as a runner. It was a big torture. I remember how many times I went to join these groups in Chepkoilel trying to run with them, and they would laugh me like crazy. I go back home and I'm like, I don't think this is meant for me. But the following day I woke up, got back into the roads. Amazing. And then I met a coach called Paul Ereng. And Paul Ereng, one day he was coaching. At that time, Paul Ereng was coaching Ezekiel Kimboy and Janet, all those groups that were staying at Kipchoge High Altitude Training Center. And I went one time. My cousin took me to one of their trainings. I think I did only 2 400 meters, and then I was dead. So just imagine training with Ezekiel Kimboy was not easy. And then he told me, he was like, so what, did you ever go to school? And I was like, yeah, I finished Form 4. And I think I got a B+ in my KCSE. And I was supposed to go to University of Nairobi. But my parents didn't have enough money to take me to University of Nairobi. So, he told me, do you ever want to go to America? And I was like, there's no way I can go to America because my parents don't have enough money. They can't even take me to a university in Kenya. How can they take me to go to America? And he was like, no, there's something called athletic scholarship. You can go there, run, and get your degree. And I was like, sign me up. Where do I sign? That's how my life changed.
I wish you, unamwona Carren, she's laughing out. Like,
I can see Carren.
Wesley, English is amazing. Scholarship.
Carren,
are you really from Cherangany?
Waja kunichocha.
American English. Me, I have the Kenyan English.
Carren, let me tell you a story. One time I was in class 8, and during the zonal exam, during the zonal exam, I remember very well. I got 04 in my composition out of 40, my dear. 04.
Oh no!
And when my results came in, I remember very well my English teacher was saying, Wesley, one of these days you are going to write Kalenjin in your composition. But you know what I did? But you know what I did? There was a girl in my class who was so good in English, but she wasn't good. She wasn't good in mathematics. So she was like a dongo in mathematics, but she was so good in English. I was so good in mathematics, but I was a dongo in English. I made a deal.
You cross-pollinated.
I did. So I made a deal. I told her, I will teach you math if you teach me English. And thankfully, I got an A in my English.
Wow. Then say hi to that lady wherever she is, and thanks for that. So
I won't go into details with what I got in my grades, but I got an A in English.
As we go on, I will read a few comments. A lot of comments are coming in. Like wherever I will manage to read, I will read. And then, Carren, you will tell us about, how is it being a sport journalist and not reading on the news, because that's what people are asking a lot. And also, I'll give you an opportunity to ask Mheshimiwa any question, if you have any.
Oh, yeah, being a sports journalist, I definitely must ask him something.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, it's not about being journalist here.
Someone called Korir is saying he's in Honolulu, Hawaii, locked and watching Maxwell Keyboard. Strong message. Asante sana. Leonard Tabor. Rob, Asante sana. He's saying I'm watching from United States of Sisibo. That is a loaded. That is calling. Asante sana. Kimutai. That is true. Landing a job without a certificate happens. It happened to anyone determined to succeed. Asante sana, Team Mutai, wherever you are. Kiprotich Mark. That is the. We will host him someday. He's one of the Kenyan 400 meters runner in a Commonwealth Games winner in 400. One of the guys who won 400 meters flat in the Commonwealth Games. He got a question to Mheshimiwa. He says that, hi, Alfred, ask Korir, Mbona Precious Sport Ministry is given to musician medalists from previous events have not been paid. So I don't know, Mheshimiwa, will you be able to answer that now that wewe ni raia kama Alfred, or do you have anything? So you will explain to that to Mark Mutai. Someone called Lagat Sami is saying loud and clear here in Nyeri County. Peace to our beautiful Queen Carren. What drives or motivates her each and every morning and each and every day at wherever she appears, and everyone glues at it. My favorite sports anchor, Asante sana Sami, on behalf of Carren. I think we can give Hillary keep watching from United States. Wesley Nakucheki, Asante sana Hillary. Viola Cheruta, tuned in already, loving it. Asante sana. I saw boss Purjai, nice story. Thank you, I saw Bana. Thanks for the support always. Noah Kip. Wow, best athlete Wesley Korir, Asante sana. Judy Chepkirchir. God bless you, Ambassador, and all the team watching. Asante sana. Lea Cherop. Oh my God, hanging network. We're jaribu kutafuta network. And Atoy Dorir. Wow, happy to see these people. Asante sana. That watching from Samburu. Wow, Asante sana. Lagat Sami. Thank you, Mheshimiwa Korir. Like Ruzungu English iko on point. Thank you. Na msisahau ni mkimbiaji, msitusumbuanga kila siku wakimbiaji mnasema in the game. Wesley Korir is an Olympian. He represented Kenya in the Olympics. He has won Boston. Sasa mkimbiaji sasa ni rahisi. That is yani Kiingereza ya mzungu ya mkimbiaji.
Yani watu wanafurahia tu Kiingereza peke yake bwana. Sasa twende
Kale anaongea good English, American English. Hey,
watching they are really coming fast, Netflix to from It says that thanks for the show. Those Nala put it to Joe ambassadors. Yes, we need you the show to go all the way to our parents. Karen utasalamia watu wawili watatu kwa kikale pale. Very true. I get news from Laikipia. Always got inspired by His Excellency former MP Wesley Korir. Asante sana. Boy, keep Korir, keep going, sir. You are a role model to our society. Asante sana. I'm humble, brother. Tuko pamoja, bro. Joel Kiplimo right from the UFC anasema salamia watu wote hapo. Faith Mengich live from Eldama Rafin, Baringo County. Say hi to Elgeyo Express. Thank you for watching us right all the way from that far. Tuko pamoja. So we will continue to read the comments as they come in. Naomi Misoi say great talent. Happy to meet you guest Wesley Korir. I haven't heard from you since you left politics. He's doing great, amazing job huko nyumbani, ana quarantine huko, anachunga ng'ombe. If you follow him on his online thing, he's really inspiring. You got a lot of things he's gonna share with us. So Karen, tell us your story about growing up in I hope you've been to EMC. You know how Grau Nico, tell us if you've been there, you know, if you spend more time, and what's your take when growing up as a young girl from EMC and to where you are now, and also tell us the choice why you decided to choose sports and rather not to do the news.
Okay. So I was born in Elgeyo Marakwet, Yes, I was born in Elgeyo Marakwet. That name imenipotelea. I stayed there for my first 5 years, and it was amazing because you know our landscape. Hey, you can't get that anywhere. You know, it's amazing. People are lovely, and I went to school there for kindergarten. But after my 5 years, I came to Nairobi. So I can basically say as long as I can remember, there's some phases of your childhood you cannot remember until someone reminds you, you know. So the much I can remember is all that happened in Nairobi. But I frequently go to Elgeyo Marakwet to visit my people. Eldoret, I go there. And I am proud to be a Marakwet lady, proud to be a Marakwet girl. And, you know, I'm just hoping to work hard and go back home and do amazing stuff for the ladies back there. Because I've seen my friend Lil Koima, they have an initiative to help young Marakwet girls. You know, those are things I'd love to really venture in. Mfuko ikiwa sawa kabisa. Just say tunaanza, you know. Get good money that you can really go do something amazing for all the girls back there. Yes, they say you don't need a lot of money, but I wouldn't want to do anything shoddy or start and then not finish. Something that I can start and see it till the end. So I'm proud to be a Marakwet girl. I mean, aren't we beautiful?
Wow.
We are very tough. Don't joke with Marakwet girls. We are like Nyeri girls, but we don't kill. We we do not kill, but don't joke with us. You know, we are very tough because I myself am very outspoken. I am a go-getter. I need something, I will go for it. But at the same time, I never forget to be humble. I never forget who I am addressing. Even my bosses like Torome Tirike, you know, you have to know who you're dealing with, you know, even though it's the president or whoever and they're your very good friend, don't forget that they are still so and so, you know. That's how uanze kuzoeana or anything apana. Never forget who you're dealing with, and that will take you far, because respect, who doesn't love to be respected, you know. Respect everyone who comes your way, you know. So I didn't stay sana in Elgeyo Marakwet, but my mom made sure I went back there because she said, Karen, wewe ukienda high school Nairobi utaharibika, enda ushago. So I went to her dream school. She always wanted to go to Singore Girls, but she didn't get the opportunity to go to Singore Girls. So she chose the school for me. And I'm happy I went there because I met amazing ladies. I got to reconnect with, with my people. Because in my 4 years in school, I can count the number of times I came back to Nairobi. I used to go stay with my aunties or back to Shago to my people. So it really helped me to reconnect with my people.
Yeah.
And fast forward, I cleared high school and I joined university. And I always knew from primary school I wanted to do journalism. So it's not something I really debated at which career. I knew from the onset I wanted to do journalism because when I was even in Form 2, I formed a club called Press Club. And by the time I was leaving Form 4, it was the richest club in the whole school, not in Kenyan shillings, but in euros. So I was that girl. I was Zungu. Yes, my club was very rich. Yes, we were rich in euros, and we formed the national school anthem together with my girls. We were called to see. Sinwa to see. We formed the school anthem, which is sung until today. We we came up with the first Singora Girls newsletter. So I don't know if that tradition still continues, but we really accomplished a lot with that club, press club. We used to read news mbele ya shule. Tunaenda na meza. Walimu wote wako hapo, all students are there, and we prepared the news and we could go read it just like how it's done in TV. So I can say my girls really built me because that confidence pole ikakuja. Yes, so now that's what led now to my journey that I told you earlier of how I got an internship. And then now I was so happy I got the internship, but I didn't know what I was up to. The first 3 months were crazy till even my body shut down. Yani, it was...
People from Singora are blowing up the comment section right now. Continue.
Oh yes, I really love those girls. I love them so much. Was our central block, Singora girls. They were amazing lot. I'd still go back to school and stay with them, but nisipewe vitabu. Nisipewe vitabu just to hang out with them. The amazing lot. So now I came to K24 and I did my internship for 1 year, 2 years. It was not easy. Because you come in, do 3 months and go. But God favored me. I did my first 3 months. My boss Torometirike extended it to another 3 months, another 3 months, baka ikakuwa 1 year, 2 months. Now that's when now I was confirmed to now be.
This time around, all this time, the 3 months was just courtesy, like free. They're just doing it for free, I guess.
Yes, 1 year, 2 years, I worked for K24 free.
Write down, people from the village are saying if you're on TV, you are paid a lot of money. So you have also, and me, I want to finish. Someone is finishing from 4, na anataka kuandikwa kazi ya 60,000 startup. So you also have to mention to the people that
my first salary was 10K, please.
And also you have
my first salary was 10,000.
You have to volunteer, you have to do it for free to showcase what you have.
Guys, if your parents are not rich, you just have to work hard. You just have to work hard. Me, those 1 year, 2 years were not easy. I cried. Haulipwi mpaka madhe anachoka na wewe rudi shule, But I struggled, and within those 1 year, 2 years, I had already joined a sports association called AIPS. And as an intern, you're not even allowed to travel out of Nairobi. But me, I traveled. I even went all the way to UK because of sports as an intern. So guys, don't limit yourself. Anything is possible. But I found an amazing team at K24. Wanjiko Mwenda. You guys have watched her do amazing stuff on TV. Tony Kwalanda. Hey, you guys, if you see those two people, yes, if you see those two people, just buy them tea and call me. I will pay. Those guys have really, really really helped me in shaping my career. And let me tell you, you will go places and you will find people who will build you, those people who will kill you. They're called vision killers, they are vision boosters. So be careful. And if you find a vision booster, stick with them. Because for me, my vision boosters and career boosters were Wanjiko Mwanda and Tony Kwalanda. They held me like this, kabisa. Let me tell you, nowadays I am known for the Friday show, Weekend with Betty. That was Tony Kwalanda's show. But Tony said, Carren, I have my own show. It's called Sports Hub. So now from today, this will be your baby. Handle Weekend with Betty. If he was a bad man, Ebu tell me, would he have agreed to, let me handle Weekend with Betty? No, but
That's
being the
very
good man he is, he said, Carren, I've been here for industry for long. I have my show here. You're starting up. Shikai, build yourself. So guys, if you find a vision booster, just thank God and walk with them step by step by step. And if you trust in God, God will make a way where there seems to be no way. And if there is a mountain, he will level that mountain and you will book a border to the other side. And guys will be left wondering, hey, dem alifikaje hapa, alilala na CEO, alifanya nini? Because I got that comment a lot. I'm from a very humble background. So the moment guys got to see where I reached, they were like, huyu lazima. Na venye anakaa, huyu alilala na CEO. No.
Those things will have to come, but
sleep around.
It's about determination. It's about
yes. You don't have to sleep around to make it. You can actually work hard and get what you want. Use the right way. Be kind. Be very respectful, and above all, be hardworking. So and pole after my internship, in now last year, I was now confirmed as permanent, now a fully fledged sports anchor and reporter with K24. So just 4 years, intern, your probation period, and you're confirmed, and you're doing what you're doing, So I don't take it for granted. Me, I have no formula. My only formula is God. God's favor can breaks all rules. I don't have a certificate. I don't have anything. The normal process is Maliza Shule pata certificate, but God, he broke that rule in favor of me. That Carren, with or without a certificate, you will get that job.
Absolutely.
You see, so do not limit yourself. With all that you have at this particular moment, use that and make something for yourself. Bado sijafika, I am so far. Right now tunakatiwa mshahara 50%. That will reduce me to where I started. But God knows what is happening, and pole he'll take you to greater heights. So never doubt God, and God above all. Mtaniona nikislay hapo, but I never joke with my God. Take your God seriously, because without God you are nothing. And ladies, work hard. Wanaume, Alfred is here, Wesley is here. Wanaume come and go, but your hard work can't be separated from you. So just work hard.
I totally concur with your sentiment, and wow, what a story. What an encouragement. That was huge. I will read a few comments.
Carren?
Yes, Mheshimiwa.
Carren? Kuna jamaa hapa ameuliza asking for my brother. Carren ameoleka.
No, I'm not yet married. I'm not yet. Juzi niliona mzee Kibora ame comment pale Instagram. That is the moment I knew I need to get married. Kama mzee Kibora anaweza comment hapo kuhusu Carren, I need to get. Yani mzee Kibora alisema mzee has 5 wives. I choose them by looking at hard work, beauty, and religion. Together we rose to successful farmers. We had gone through all challenges, but we thank God. Kalenjins are beautiful. Look at Carren Kibbet of K24. Mrembo tupu. Kama mzee Kibora amesema hivyo, I need to get married. Nitoke hapa. So men, when you're serious, send your CVs, send your applications.
Now you want to break my computer na comment. Wanaume sasa sijui ndasoma gani time. Anyway, that was good. That was great. And they say fashion changes but style endures. So Carren, doing what you do, man. I really am encouraged. I'm encouraged by your story. I felt it. And I'll read a few comments and then we go to Mheshimiwa so that we don't pile them up because they're really coming up.
Okay.
A lot of people from a lot of girls from Singora saying, "Wow, Singorean." Is that how I read it?
Yes. Really... Wait. Before you continue, I'd love to acknowledge someone here, Coach Bernard Ouma. I can see he has written. I can remember Carren Kibbet during her internship. She's a go-getter. Bernard Ouma is a very good man. He gave me a very good interview. He also allowed me to interview Elijah Manangoi. He's a very good man. Yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge him because I've seen him here.
So, Natunke John, say my best friend, pass my best regards to my friend, and former MP Wesley Korir. Thank you for everything you did during your tenure and what you continue to do today. Hope you get another chance again. Carren, that's a new frontier on to our people. You are doing absolutely well. Host, keep doing what you are doing, and God and the people of Nandi are seeing you. Asante sana, John. I'm humble. Salamia sana, salama sana to you all. Big hello to Wesley. Hope to see Wesley soon again. Regards from Italy. That is Miko Panevis. I'm not too sure if that is a good pronunciation, Mheshimiwa. Watching from Wisconsin. Kuna majina ngumu ya Amerika, Wesley, mingi.
Hello, Wisconsin.
Hizo. Amesema hivyo. Anaitwa Korir in KY. Anasema he's doing good and great. Charles Njeru Munene. Set anasema kama anaitwa Sep anasema great stuff. Asante sana Sep. So a lot of Kilima Chamirumir Wesley tell the bro to close the gap. Quite inspiring. I think that is the brother in the US, Wesley. Someone is saying tell him to come up the way you came. Timothy Korir, mark your vision, wishes, go the ham. Gerald Butok anasema kwamba don't let Carren go the Nigerian way. Carren, umesikia? Someone is saying
I am not looking for any foreigner. I will look for a man. Hata pesa yangu ikiisha, I will track you down in Kenya. Fare ya Eldoret haitanishinda, ya Kisumu, ya Central haiwezi. Hii ya kupanda ndege staki.
Mlogwa Nairobi, weka Nairobi.
Sitafuti mwanaume nje ya Kenya.
Asante sana.
Fare ya Mombasa Western haiwezi nishinda. Hiyo I will track you down. Nigeria nitatoa pia air ticket.
Timothy Korir, what a story. Big up Carren, thank you very much. Rascal's Bet, loving the show. Great people there. Asante sana. And I like to unfortunately, Kalenjin man will be intimidated by such strong, willing, and passionate women. Power to you, Carren. You are aspiring young girl. Asante sana, Nene. Alrighty, so quite a number. Kibora kusha sisi, Kibora ameingilia kati. Kwa shida. So yeah, let's go. Mheshimiwa, tell us.
So I was telling you, I think I had reached a story whereby I had finished high school. So I met Coach Paul Ereng here in Eldoret one time. He introduced me to a coach in America. I remember going back home. I went back home and told my mom I was going to America, and my mom told me I was joking. That's what she told me. She's like, "You're joking. Where are we going to get money?" And I told my mom, "Do you believe in God?" And my mom is a very prayerful person. You know, she prayed and she said, "You know what?
I love how you say God. You believe in God."
Yes.
So, you know, so I told mom, you know, you go to your knees, pray, and ways are going to open. So I started my journey of going to America in pretty much 202. 202. And it took me 2 years. 2 years to be able to go through the process. I didn't even finish the process. First of all, applying for school. At that time, ladies, there was no computer. I remember when I went to school in St. Joseph's during my fourth, I think it was like my third year in school. I was Form 3 is when they started bringing these computers, and it was only for rich kids. It wasn't available for everybody. It was only you had to pay money to get into that computer lesson. So I graduated in high school without touching a computer. So when I was introduced to a coach, I was given his email address. I had never typed anything on a computer. So I used to literally walk to town, write a note, and give somebody at the cafe, cyber cafe. During those days, they used to hire people at the cyber cafe. They type for you. I don't know if I hope they were typing really what I told them to type. Yeah, I guess they did. So they typed. And then I needed to apply. I had never seen a credit card. You see these credit cards, Visa card?
Yeah.
I had never seen one. So when I needed to apply online to a school in America, brothers and sisters, it took me 2 years just for that process alone. Finally, I got to go to America.
Tony Kwalanda has joined.
Oh, cool. So it took me 2 years to try to go to America because of these small things. Finally, the coach in America told me, Wesley, just come. We will finish everything else in America. He was very nice. He told me, come. We will finish the rest. There is NCA. You need to apply for NCA. You need to do all this. And all those things need credit card. I didn't have a credit card. So I went to America. My journey to America was supposed to take only 24 hours. It took me 4 good days. You know why? I made it to France. I had never seen an escalator in my life from the village. I put escalator those days. Up to now, I have never understood how I got lost in an escalator in France. I kept going up and down, up and down, up and down the escalator until I missed my flight to go to America. Finally, I found Emirates. So when I found Emirates, stop laughing, guys. It's true. I got lost in France for 4 days. And after I found Emirates, I was supposed to try to change from Emirates to Air France. So you're supposed to move from one terminal to another. I didn't understand any of those things. So I got lost. I finally found my way. So when I'm going to check in, they told me your flight left a long time ago. They have to book you for another flight. It happened that during the time when they were checking me in Nairobi in the airport, they gave me a like the luggage ticket. So in my ticket, they put 2 bags that I was carrying 2 bags. I left home. I checked in only 1 bag. So I am in the check-in area in France. They asked me, how many bags do you have? I say 1. No, they say you have 2. I say, no, I have 1. They say you have 2. I have 1. We argued. They pulled me aside. During that time, it was after 9/11. You remember the bombing? So they were very strict. How many bags you carry, or you have to know your bags. So all of a sudden, I'm in France, and I'm taken into this room surrounded by cops. Saying, okay, you are claiming that you have 1 bag, but you have checked in 2 bags.
Police.
Yeah, so wakaniambia you have to stay here. They have to get all those bags, bring it back, and then you pick your own bag and then go check it in. It took 2 days. They never found those bags. So I don't know what bags they had given me. They never found those bags. So 2 days staying in the airport, sleeping at the airport.
Wow.
2 days.
What an experience.
I finally decided, I was like, okay, they told me, wrote me a letter. They told me when you get to New York, give this letter to somebody. And I remember very well when I was in France, they told me, Wesley, what do you want to do? At that time, I had decided, honestly, I remember very well, I had decided to come back home. And they were like, okay, are you sure you want to go back home? And they were like, do you want to call somebody? So I was like, okay, let me call my cousin. My cousin is called Patrick Kenda. He's a head teacher here. So I was like, okay, let me call him. So they gave me a calling card to call him. I called him, and this is one thing my cousin told me. He told me, you're so stupid if you want to come back home. He told me, you know how many people want to go to America? He told me, man up, go to America, don't come back home. So that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna man up and I'm gonna continue with my journey to America. I made it to America, and 4 days, finally I'm in America. My coach had waited for me in the airport he kept coming every day trying to pick me. I didn't have a phone, I didn't have an email, I didn't have anything of communicating to him, and I respect him so much. He was patient coming to the airport looking for this skinny Kenyan, a black Kenyan coming from Kenya.
All these events happened on your first trip to the US.
My first trip to the US.
Wow,
there's this notion that people think that US is a country of honey and maize. Like you go there, you have this notion that when you go to America, things are very different. My friend, they're not different. They're like here. My first school I went to was in Kentucky. Kentucky wanapanda mahindi kama hapa Kenya. So when I landed, so when I landed in America, I landed in a town called Nashville. It is, and I was driving to Kentucky, to a small school called Morris State. That was my first school.
Yeah.
When I was driving, I could see maize. Well, they're farmers. So I could see maize, I could see cows, I could see tobacco. So I asked the driver who was driving, I was like, am I in America? Because I was expecting something completely different, not maize and tobacco and cows. I was expecting something different. I was like, yeah, you're in America, man. You're in America. Yeah. So I made it to school, to Morris State. I started my education there. I got my scholarship. The problem I had was I had not cleared with NCA. Those people who know or who have gone to America, there is a process. You have to clear with NCA. NCA is an organization that clears you to be able to get your scholarship. So because the coach allowed me to travel to America before clearing with NCA. So when I got to America, I started my process of clearing with NCA. I had started my classes, I had started my schooling, and it was about 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after I landed in America. And the NCAA pretty much rejected my application.
Wow.
They say that there is a rule about you have to have at least 2 social sciences. Social sciences in America are either history or geography. Me, in high school, I did geography and CRE. Those people don't know what CRE is. So they told me I could not qualify to get a scholarship in America because I didn't have social science. So they took away my scholarship for 2 weeks. Pretty much I was in America without scholarship. And they told me, Wesley, because you don't have a scholarship, you either pay $10,000, which is 1 million Kenyan shillings, or they will put you back into the flight to go back home. My coach was like, let's appeal. So we appealed the process of clearance. So I had to write to the Ministry of Education. I called St. Joseph's. They wrote a letter of the process. They say CRE is one of the social sciences here in Kenya. You either choose between history, geography, or CRE. So they had explained everything. They wrote a letter, and then I sent the letter to the NCA. And after 2 weeks of no scholarship, nowhere to live, pretty much I was, because they had taken the scholarship away. They were able to approve my application. And I started school in Morris State. And then after a couple of months, I remember I got a call from the coach. And the coach called me into his office, and he told me, Wesley, I have a very bad news. Not a good news. Bad news. The school that I had started with, which was called Morris State, had dropped the athletics program. So they were not giving scholarship anymore to track athletes. So the good thing at that time, I had run so well in America during NCAA that my name was out there and a lot of coaches were able to want me. So I was able to look for a new school, and I was able to transfer from Murray State to University of Louisville in Kentucky. And that's where now I was able to finish my degree. And I did my degree in pre-med. Honest enough, I wanted to be a doctor. I did in America. For you to be a doctor in America, you do first of all 5 years of pre-med, and then you go now to medical school. So I graduated with a degree in biology, pre-med. So I was supposed to join medical school. So after graduating in 2008, my coach called me into his office and he said, "Okay, Wesley, before you join medical school, let's try this marathon running. Let's try. You're a good runner. You're a good distance runner. Let's try 1 or 2. Mimi, I had never really thought about marathon. I didn't even know how many kilometers a marathon was.
Yes.
But because I trusted my coach, he told me, let's try this marathon. So I signed up for my first marathon was in Chicago in 2008. And when I signed up for Chicago, I had just graduated from school. So in Marathon World, I'll explain a little bit about Marathon World. In Marathon World, there's about 20 athletes who are elite athletes, who are normally invited. So these elite athletes are invited. They are paid appearance money. These are good athletes, Olympic champions, or all these people who have run really well. So they're given that chance to be elite athletes. I tried to apply in 2008 to run with the elite athletes. If you Google that story, you'll get a story about Wesley Korir, who started 5 minutes behind the elites. I could not be allowed to run with the elites because I wasn't good enough. I remember I went to register, and at the registration desk, I met a Muzungu. Muzungu looked at me. I was like, I want to run with the elites. So during that time, the elites will start 5 minutes. And then now the rest of the masses, who are like 40,000 wazungus, wale ambao Alfred, those people, wale ambao they're trying to wait, they're just trying to finish a marathon.
So they winner.
Wanalipanga winner, hao wenye wanatoanga pesa. For me, my first marathon, I had to pay my entry fee, and I tried to run with the elites. They told me, Wesley, you're not good enough. You cannot run with the elites. You have to run with the other masses. So I tried, I begged, they refused. So the elite runners started at 7:55. Wakayaga kamba. Wakasema, leo tuongoja mpaka 5 minutes. Hawaende. So, and there were about 20 to 25 elite runners. So in my mind, I was thinking there's no way I'm going to catch up with these elite runners. They're so good.
Of course, yeah.
So I had a choice. When they told me that, I had a choice.
There's a big gap.
I had a choice of either running that marathon or choosing not to run. I remember calling my coach. I told my coach, I'm starting 5 minutes behind, so this will be meaningless. Coach was like, you know what, Wesley? Just go run. I remember telling that Muzungu, this day was planned for me by God before I was born. And whatever is going to happen this day, I'm not going to let you ruin it. That was my exact word I told that Muzungu. I'm going to sign up and I'm going to run this race. So I started 5 minutes behind. I ran my race. Ladies and gentlemen, I ran after half marathon. I started catching the elite runners.
Wow.
At the end of it, in that marathon, I finished 4th.
Wow.
I passed pretty much close to...
That's amazing, man.
I made my first million.
in that marathon.
I made my first million in 2008 as an elite runner, as somebody who had started 5 minutes behind. It had never happened before in the world. It was the first time that somebody had started 5 minutes behind and caught up with the elite runners. The reason was the elite runners went out too fast. It was so hot. So they went out too fast.
Then they
by halfway, they were burning out. They were dying, literally dying. I was passing them. They were just sitting down on the roads because they couldn't keep up with the heat. But I started so slow because I didn't have anybody to compete with. So I was able to control myself. and ran well, and I was able to finish 4th. I remember looking at that Muzungu who told me I wasn't good enough at the finish line, and he closed his mouth.
What would you expect him to say? You know, that was a big
the following year I went to LA Marathon in 2009. I was invited for my first ever elite marathon now in LA Marathon in 2009. I remember when I went there, I was invited. We had an hotel, we had food, we had everything. And I remember sitting there and I was like, I was a student. I was nothing. Like these people were talking about they have won these major marathons. They had won Olympics. You know, I remember there was a guy called Benjamin Limo. I owe him, man. I owe him. I remember when we were running that race, he looked at me. Is it the same
Benjamin Limo, Kwamba Helsinki?
Kwamba Helsinki, yeah, that guy, Kwamba Helsinki. I was with him. I was with Benjamin Limo in LA.
Benjamin Limo, Jumbo, he's following, he's watching somewhere.
I was with Benjamin Limo in LA, and I remember when we started that race. I had never ran with any elite marathon, and so we were running. And when we were running this race, there were 2 people. There were one Ethiopian, and there was another Kenyan from Cherangany. In my neighbor, I didn't know, but I came to realize later that it was my neighbor. So these 2 elite runners were the main elite. No, in every race, there's those featured elite runners. So if every elite runner dream is to be invited as a featured elite, because if you're invited as a featured elite, you get paid a lot of appearance money. So these 2 guys had been paid a lot of money. They were the ones that were supposed to win. You know, they are the ones that appear in front of the media. They are the ones who are
hyped up.
Yeah, the ones who are hyped up. You know, so these 2 were hyped up. One Kenyan and one Ethiopian. So I remember when we were running, we made it to a halfway, and I remember that day very well. I had some excitement. I wanted to prove to these people that I am not, the starting 5 minutes behind was a mistake. My goal was really prove to Azungu Kwamba I can run a marathon.
Yes.
And when we made it to like about 35K, I remember Benjamin Limo pulling me behind, and he told me, Wesley, you're gonna die if you keep doing this, because I was really pretty much pacing for people, and he pulled me back. I was like, you go back here, follow me behind. So and he helped me so much during that race. And I remember when we got to 38K.
I know, that's what I wanted to say. 38K is the determinant of the marathon.
When we made it 38 kilometers, the Kenyan,
that split is very important.
The Kenyan told me, so we remained 3 of us. It was the Ethiopian, the Kenyan, the 2 hyped up elite runners, and me. So to me, I was the odd one out. So I was like, at that time, I was like, you know what? The worst I can finish here is number 3. And number 3 in marathon is good. You're in the podium. So I was like, I'm good. So I was like, just Wesley, stay number 3.
Bado kwa bracket ya pesa.
Bado niko bracket bwana. Bado I am in the market. I'm in the. So when I made it 38K, the guy looked at me and he told me, I cannot do it anymore. I have a stomach problem. So he started having stomach problem, and he told me, literally, this is what he told me: don't let that Ethiopian win.
Wow.
So now at this time, I am now thinking, I'm like, okay, now I'm not running for Wesley anymore. I'm running for Kenya. Now it's become Kenya versus Ethiopia. And people don't know how much that rivalry is. Like deal, Kenya versus Ethiopia. When we're running, we just right? So I'm like, okay, now I have to represent Kenya. I have to run for Kenya. I have to win this race. When I figure 40K, and in LA Marathon, there was $100,000 bonus. So 10 million bonus. No, there was course record, but also there was a challenge. So the women started about 20 minutes ahead of men. So whoever crosses the finish line first gets a bonus of 100,000 Kenyan shillings, which is 10 million.
Oh, the basic now winner.
Yeah, before anything else.
Wow.
So whoever crosses the finish line, so it's a race between a race.
Nice.
Mimi ni kijana kutoka shule bwana. Mimi sijawahi shika pesa. Pesa yangu kwanza ilikuwa ile.
Bado hiyo pesa huko sasa nianze mazoezi.
Hata huko bwana, mimi nakwambia nilifika 40k. Nilibaki 2k. Nikaona msichana mbele bwana. Sasa in my mind I am thinking about nasema bwana hii. I have to do something bwana. So I was able to win that race.
Wow.
And I beat the girl. I broke the course record. So I won the race. I won a brand new car.
Wow.
I won the challenge. I got the course record bonuses. You don't want to know how much money I went with in that day.
Wow.
And that day changed my life. No matter, like
Forever.
People talk about Boston Marathon as my biggest race that I won. Yeah. But LA Marathon in 2009 gave me an opportunity to realize that, you know what, there is money in running. And it gave me that motivation of even waking up every day to be able to run. So I thank Ben Limo. Maybe I've never tell you this, my friend. I thank you for that encouragement. Yeah. I thank those wazungus that told me I cannot do it. I proved them wrong. And in my life, honestly, in my life, I have grown up being told you cannot do it. Even when I came back in 2012 and I decided to run for member of parliament, I remember very well, even my own parents, even my relative, when I told them I was going to run for a member of parliament, they asked me, do you know who Joshua Gutuny is? You cannot beat that guy. He is he was dancing everywhere and everybody knew him. And they told me, he's a monster. You are not going to beat him. And I told him, you know what? You'll never know what you are able if you don't try. A lot of people are afraid of failing to a point whereby they don't try. Me, I always tell people the worst failure you can ever have is the regret of not trying.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's true.
Never be told you're not good enough and never stop trying. No matter, mimi nakwambia mimi nikiamua kupita kwa hii ukuta hii hata kama imejengwa na mawe. I have the will to do it and I can do it.
Wow. Mheshimiwa, people are totally encouraged. People are really they have felt you. If I read the comments, you will be people are saying Mheshimiwa should read a book. People are saying this is not your.
Oh, he should write a book. Yeah.
Before we go to the comment section, Carren, do you have any question for Mheshimiwa?
That I should write a book, and I'll write a book one day when the time comes.
Absolutely.
Carren, perfect. We will definitely wait for that particular book. In my comment section, Mheshimiwa guys are so impressed, Yani. And it's amazing that we have gotten to hear your story. Most of the times tukiwa interview hamtuambiange this background, interesting highlights of your life. We only ask you how was 2019 in Los Angeles, how was 2010, how was 2012,
You always ask about Boston Marathon.
Yes. By the way, and you were to make a comeback this particular year. How has that gone?
No, I think I got an injury, so I'm getting back from injury. I'm even feeling blessed by this coronavirus because
oh my God, so it's a blessing in disguise.
I know now that Boston was postponed. Now it's given me time to be able to heal and be able to. But Carren, it's I think I have achieved so much in my life that I think when I think about my life right now, I think I'm spending more time giving other people chances. I think if you follow my story, I started an academy called Transcend Running Academy. I started a foundation called Kenyan Kids Foundation, both US and Canada. So Kenya Kids Foundation is registered in the US and registered in Canada. Transcend and Kenya Kids Foundation is registered in Kenya. My goal is to really, I look at my life. I look at that priest. When I made my first million, I called the priest, Father Willie Walsh, and I told Father Willie, I want to pay you back for the money you gave me. Because he had retired from teaching, he had retired from priesthood, and I knew that this guy can use my money. That priest told me, Wesley, I don't want your money. Do the same to others. What I did to you, do it to others. And that's how I was able to start my foundation, Kenya Kids Foundation, And over the last close to 10 years, we have educated more than 500 students who some of them are graduated from high school, some of them are still high school, some of them have finished university. Our first batch of graduates, since the people that we started with graduated last year from university, and some of them even have got jobs. I have a girl called Simenja who we took through high school, just got a job with TSC teaching high school. And you know, I have more than 15 kids that we have gotten them scholarship to go to America. So through Transcend, we take kids, from poor families. It's purely an talent development school. We take kids who have talent of running. We take them from Form 1, we train them, we pay for their school fees, we pay for everything. Their job is to study and run. We have taken more than 15 of them right now are in America in different universities. Those are what gives me joy. I think in this world, one thing I've come to realize is you can achieve everything. By the end of it, you leave everything behind. The key,
like if you look back, who have you touched?
Yeah, who have you touched? You know, it's not the amount of money that you have made. It is not the amount, how big your house is. It's not how big your car is that people remember. It is those people that you have touched that will remember you because it's their life. You know, when I read the Bible says that put your investment in heaven. You know, as a young kid, I've always thought about, you know, I remember one day asking God, how can I write you a check to heaven? How can I write a check? Where do I write that check? Right? But I've come to realize one thing. When I die right now, my story of how that priest helped me will go with me to heaven, because I'm not going to hell. If you're waiting for me to go to hell, I'm not going. I'm going to heaven. So when I go to heaven, my story of how the priest helped me is going with me to heaven. So that's an investment that priest put in me that I will go with it in heaven. I believe that every person you touched and they go to heaven. So you have to make sure that every person you touch goes to heaven. Because if they go to heaven, they will take with you what the investment you put in them to go with them to heaven. So the best investment you can do is helping other people. That's why I'm so excited about what Alfred is doing with his Land Sam Foundation. Is a great initiative, Alfred. I give you a thumbs up. All those kids you're touching, they will go one day and tell God about what you're doing, and maybe that's how God is going to forgive you all those sins that you've done. Right?
And what would you tell other athletes out there who have made money but are not making any investment, even touching people's lives? They're not doing it. Even contributing, blessing other people, they're not doing it. What would you tell the number of athletes out there who are just spending?
So first of all, the first thing that I want to tell athletes, first of all, the young athletes, the problem that we have in this country does not start with our older athletes. Young athletes should go to school. We need, and even when I was a member of parliament, one thing that I feel like I never finished was we need to create a special scholarship, athletic scholarship for our young athletes to be able to stay in school. If our athletes can get education, you don't have, when you get education, one thing I always tell people, education does not mean you have to have a white collar job. Education does not mean that you have to be employed. Education gives you it opens up your mind to know what is right and what is wrong. You go
Is it my internet?
Everybody, even the
okay, it's back.
If even the people that, you know, not even athletes, anybody, you don't go to school to get a job. You go to school to open up your mind to know what is wrong and what is right. So if our athletes can go to school, open up their mind, when they become good runners, they will know how to invest well. You cannot change a tree when it's grown. You change a tree when it's still young. So Athletics Kenya, the Ministry of Sports, please find a way of making sure that our athletes stay in school as long as they can. Find scholarship to take our kids through high school, through universities. Let's start athletic scholarship the way America has here in Kenya. If we can do that, if every universities can have an athletic scholarship, so that our kids do not even have to go to America anymore. They can go in our schools here, have athletic scholarship, be able to get their degree, and be able to develop their talent. The problem in this country is you go to school, you either become in this country, you either become a runner or you become education. You go to school or you run. So we need to find a way of bringing the two together so that our athletes can stay in school. And once they do that, they will never spend the way they're spending and they will never waste their money. But one thing that I always tell the athletes is that million comes fast, but that million disappears faster than it came.
Wow.
The faster the money comes, the faster it goes out. So if you don't invest well, the group of people that you hang around with will determine how you invest your money.
Wow, that is deep, Mheshimiwa. Let's read a few comments around. Okay, Karen.
And you said that you're looking to make a comeback in the Boston Marathon. Why didn't we see you in the Olympics team?
I don't think they'll even put me in the Olympics.
You didn't. You're a troublemaker. So there's something we need to know behind the scenes.
But Karen, I would say that, do you know that Mheshimiwa represented Kenya in the previous Olympics?
2016, yes, that one I know, but I am more focused with this one that is coming.
No, I think Karen, to be honest, I think there are more young upcoming athletes who have qualified. I think those people who are called to represent Kenya are more qualified than anybody. I think they're more qualified than me right now. And I think we have the best team, and I think they are going to represent Kenya very well. Like Choge is a friend of mine, and I think he deserves that chance. I think I call upon
Lawrence Cherono.
Those are people who are right now on top. As a country, you don't pick people that have, my days were a couple of years ago. Now they are there. So I think I support them 100%. But also I think one thing I always tell athletes, if you see something wrong, speak about it. If you see something wrong, speak about it, because that's the only way we are going to get our sports right. And that's the only way we are going to change things in this country, is we speak about it. Once we speak about it, changes will come.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. So Alfred was saying that before we continue, we take a look at the comment section, and mine is flooding. Guys are really loving your story. You have a very inspiring story, and your English is world class.
Come on.
So, yes, Coach Bernard Ouma is saying you have a great and inspiring story. Korir says he's watching from Kericho, really inspiring. Leonard Mutai is watching the show at Kericho. Aizo Boss Burgay is enjoying the show. Tony Kwalanda amewasalimia. He's saying, hello, my people. Yes, Lil Koima is saying inspiring and compelling stories from my friends Carren and Honorable Wesley. Oh, yes. Wesley, Lil Koima amesema there is a project he had hinted to me, and he would be glad to float the same idea to you after COVID. So make sure.
Lil Koima, you know that guy?
Yes.
It's a friend of mine. I went and spoke to them a couple of years ago. He's a good man.
Yes, he's very good, Lil Koima. He was in St. Patrick's when I was in Singore Girls, And alikuwa anafanya tunataka kwenda panki.
Msalimie sana. He's a great man.
Msalimie kabisa. Yes, Elliot Salam, he says he's enjoying, he's watching from Doha, Qatar. Collins Gemini says the very best. So, and before we end this, I do not have your contacts, but our reporter, Lynette Maseka from People Daily, would love to have your contact in order, to have an interview with you. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that here, but ndo usikanye, katae, it's on the public. I put you on the spot. Ndio ukikata your interview.
Watu
I
wameona
have all people watching, backing me up.
witnesses.
Lazima nijitetee.
So, I will read from my end, and then
Sayo.
Mheshimiwa, you can read from your end a bit, and then I'll ask you the last one question each, and then we call it a day. So, Mheshimiwa, people are really getting inspired. I will read from my my normal page, which
I think.
is,
Can I answer someone here a little bit?
Yeah, sure. No worries.
There's a lady here called Chebet Zuzi. He asked a question, Mheshimiwa, I'm wondering how you logged your miles while a student, or you were doing with school already. So when I was in school, we were training the normal training. So I was doing like every one thing that I thank my coach in university was every Sunday we'll do a long run of 2 hours. So those, and one thing I always tell athletes is, it is not the miles that you log right now. Running is not a short term, especially if you're training for a marathon. It's a long term. So the mileage you're putting right now, no matter how small they are, they will add up. Running is like depositing your savings in a bank. If you deposit money, you'll have money to withdraw. No deposit, no money to withdraw. My dad always tells me, my dad likes farming. Anamuka asubuhi analima. Hata kama ni mkumbili, he always tells me, Wesley, if I come to farm and I dig, muguine, tomorrow I'll not start from where I started yesterday. I'll start from where I left from. Absolutely. So and running is like that. If the little you put today, tomorrow you'll start from where you were today. So mileage, and especially in mileage, the problem that a lot of athletes have is they think that I have to put all this mileage at once. No. It is a combination of years and years of mileage. So somebody, for example, will talk about Kipchoge and say, I want to be like Kipchoge, and I want to train like Kipchoge. I want to get Kipchoge's training log. My friend, if you get Kipchoge's training log, you're going to kill yourself, because Kipchoge has been running for so many years.
20 years in the making.
And his body is built for it.
Where he is right now. So be at your own pace, log in the miles you can do right now, and that miles will help you in future.
That's very true. Very true. I would not assume and say you start running like Kipchoge today or trying to run his program today as a starter. That one, you're just booking your ticket to
You'll die.
Cut your coat according to your clothes.
Yeah.
So, but comments from here. Hillary Kipp is saying, surely inspiring session. Keep going. Mheshimiwa, before I read these comments, all what you've achieved and all these stories you've told us is that Sunday, the 4 days that took you to the US. I guess at every point in time you had them in your mind saying, look, man, you don't want to, you don't want those ones give you those times to remember and think that, and of course your background, where you came from, you didn't want your kids to be how you grew up. You wanted to, actually, Kino himself is calling me right now here. Kip Kano, the legend. So Kip Kano himself. I'll just cut him off and then call him later. Kip Kano. You know Kip Kano? Kip Kano.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give him an opportunity. No. I will not sit at the receiver. I'll call him back later. So as I was saying, Mheshimiwa, a lot of people now. Wilson Kibos is saying that keep the fire burning, bro. You are truly encouraging. Betsy Kabana is saying you already have a legacy to remember. This so amazing. Isaac Burger and Edwin, everyone is watching. Millie Samoa is watching. Thank you very much. Elliot to be what? True. A young athlete must go through school to open up their mind. Asante sana. Today all the people are preaching. What a great interview. Asante sana, Sami. William Tibon, uko hapo, tunakuona. Very true, Mheshimiwa, about at least getting scholarship and education. That is a great gesture. Asante sana, Timo.
That's your babies.
This is my family here. This is my kids. Wow. Before I go, I wanted my kids to say hi. Can you guys say hi?
Hi.
So who you are, Michaela?
Michaela,
say hi.
Hi.
This is Brian.
Hi.
Wait, that's sabiru na mi interview kidogo. Sabiru in the next
This is Brian. This is Jaden. Jaden, say hi.
Hi.
And this is my last one called Benjamin. Say hi.
They're very beautiful. You have a beautiful family.
Thank you, guys.
Hi.
Hi. That's a beautiful
So they've been wondering
family.
what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I've been wondering what they've been doing, and they wanted me to come. They wanted to come and say hi. They have been asking me to say hi.
Yeah.
So I wanted everybody out there to know that I have a family.
Thank you very much for
Lakini
sharing that
sasa
with me.
wewe mnaniambia niangalie wakale, wewe umeenda across the boundary. Hiyo ngozi ya pesa hapo.
Tunakuona sana. Tunakuona Karen.
But he has said a very important thing. Angalia roho yako, by the way. Don't define it by tribe.
Of course.
Yes.
But sisi
Bana unajua Karen bana, kama zinge badilisha rangi angalia hii unyeusi bwana. Wewe una
lazima unge white balance.
Lazima bwana.
Don't call us. Thank you for watching. Nicholas must
ukaconfirm. Kazi safi.
Karen, proud of you. Keep flying tomorrow flag. I'm proud of you. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Honorable Stanley Japumia. Asante sana. Lagat Kipkoskea Stephen, Honorable Wesley, vie for MP Cherangany 2022 year. Mheshimiwa, are you coming back again? Asante sana. I'm really getting some wisdom. Asante sana. A quick one. Some lady called Udia is saying, totally agree, touching others in a positive way is very rewarding. They say blessing is the hand, blessed is the hand that given. Wesley, you have left a good legacy. Good on you, mate. You have done very well. Klimo Chemirmira nasalamia Coach Ouma. Kipimoy Arab Kirui, my lecturer, Alfred Lampson Foundation. Asante sana. A lot of people, Timothy Korir, thanks for inspiration. The inspiration, Mheshimiwa. Thumbs up, watching from Seoul, South Korea. Asante. I hope you are safe, Timothy Korir. Lagat Kip Kosgei. He's saying that inspiration story, Mheshimiwa, we need that's all right. Nitaongea na Mheshimiwa pale kwa DM maneno ya 22.
Alfred, there are people that are asking about 2022. What I always tell people, my friend, we live in 2020. Let us survive the coronavirus.
Of course, yes. And
2022, God knows.
Ingine tutajua huko mbele.
Actually, anasema Karen, so inspiring. Honorable Wesley, Karen, proud of you. Keep flying the Singora flag high. Proud to be an alumni of the school. Oliver Morgan, also watching. Asante sana. John.
That's a sports reporter. Oliver Bob Morgan.
Oliver Bob Morgan.
Oliver, yes. We are together in the media. That's my brother.
Oh, Samika ndugu yangu. Naona umeinua kamera kabisa na utupiga picha tulikuwa online. But I was entertainment prefect when I was in high school. So, and then after I was the deputy head boy and a cleanliness prefect. So, msicheke sana. Hiyo ina family. Hatujapata ya serikali. Hatukupata ya serikali.
I was also an entertainment prefect in school.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Me, I was
Form 2. Nilikuwa bell ringer, nikavutwa, siku reelectiwa tena, nikawekwa entertainment. I used to ring the bell kwanza lunch time. Na ring 10 minutes before.
I know, man.
Mimi nilikuwa YCS chairman.
Oh, man.
Mimi nilikuwa YCS chairman wa shule, nilikuwa YCS chairman wa zonal, nilikuwa YCS chairman. Nilikuwa organizing secretary ya diocese.
Wow.
Hey,
nilikuwa father bwana.
Wewe na Lilkoima WhatsApp group moja. Mimi nilikuwa wa CU, lakini CU hakukuwa na outing. Sasa siku ya outing nilikuwa wa YCS.
Twice, yes. Wilson Kibos, keep the fire burning, bro. You are truly encouraging. Asante sana. Betsy Kepene, you already have a legacy. So remember, this is so amazing. Asante sana. Betsy Kepene kutoka South Australia. Naomi Misa anasema, this is inspiring story. Great work, Alfred and Wesley. May God bless you. I'm also asking kama mtoto atakuja huko Kericho. Pia mtaambia pale mpangia anko. Simoko feel very, very true, Mheshimiwa, about at least getting scholarship and education. And I want to emphasize what you said, Mheshimiwa. Through Lanshan Foundation, we have a program that we support talent and education. I personally saw this as a dream that athletes should have at least something else prior to go with running, because at some point in time, once you retire as an elite athlete, or if you get an injury as an athlete, if you don't have a backup plan, you will not be seen anywhere or be heard anywhere. Education is something that you will eat forever. It is something that will stick with you to the end of time. So if yes.
I know, Alfred, the issue, and I think, Carren, this is one thing that I want you guys in the media to emphasize. I think, I don't know how you can do it, but we need to promote and encourage education and talent. I think with the introduction
Let me cut you short. Athletes, most especially runners, fear the media, and they do not know the power of media. Look at Eliud Kipchoge right now.
I know.
He can face the UK, the American media, the Kenyan media, and talk, and there is substance. It's because he practiced, how to talk. Athletes napigia mtu, hi, kindly could we schedule for an interview on this day? Watu media hapana, staki. And then now when people when people win, go out there, make major exploits, wanaulizwa something na UK media, they cannot answer.
They cannot answer.
And
I think
you have one. Please tell athletes not to be scared of media. Yes, media can build you or destroy you, but if kama hujafanya makosa, it will definitely build you. The confidence will come. You'll be able to speak. If you didn't know a lot of English, you will now know how to connect sentences and now have a complete sentence, and you're actually making sense. But sasa mtu ako home, ameenda tu kukimbia, akitoka huko hata practice kitu, anarudi tu home. When now big brands, are coming for you. Like now, umeshinda Boston, umeshinda, Chicago, and now watu wa huko majuu, they want to interview you. Will they even call you?
And this is the thing that I always tell people, and this is the thing, Carren, that I think athletes need to know. You are a brand. Like, for example, this is a brand. It's called SWAT. Right? This is my drink that I drink during running. This is the electrolyte that I drink during running as a marathoner. It's a brand. For them to make money, they have to sell that brand. They have to sell the brand because it is how they make money. Athletes, this is the thing about athletes that they don't know. You are a brand. When you run, it's just not running from the start to the finish. You need to sell yourself. I remember so many times I have talked to agents. And I tell them, in your training camp, start a communication lesson. Hire communication people. Hire people from the media, so that the people from the media can come and train your athletes. That when they are training to be fast, they also need to train in communication. I have made money. This is the thing, I will tell people out there, I have made more money because of my speaking than because of my running.
Computer.
Right now, despite the fact that even I'm not as good as I used to be, but a race would still want me to go, because going to a race is not just going there and sleeping for 5 days and then waking up and running and winning the race and coming back home. Races have to advertise themselves. Races in America, they have sponsors. Those sponsors have events that they want you to go and participate in. So for you to be paid a good appearance money, athletes who are listening to me, for you to be paid a good appearance money in these races, you need to know how to communicate well so that the races can invite you and use you for the advertisement, because they have also to make money so that they can pay you. But if you're not good in speaking, my friend, nobody will pay you and nobody will invite you. This is a thing that most media people have told me overseas. Every time people are running, let me tell you, you might be fast, but if the media can't get a story out of you, you're just as useless as the slowest person.
Exactly. And just to emphasize on the power of media, there's some athletes who just a reporter took their time and interviewed them. And with that particular interview, managers, agents from wherever were interested after reading that article and went as far as locating where that particular athlete is. But sasa gazeti unakataa, TV unakataa. How will you market yourself? Mtu hata akikugoogle hakuna kitu.
Utakimbia win races, utoke huko na pesa ambao umewin race, and there's nowhere you're going to go.
Yes, and you had a chance of getting more money that than what you got after winning that race. So let's just continue talking to our athletes. Media builds people. Ukifanya makosa pia tutakuja tuandike Wesley alifanya hivi na hivi, you know, but forget the negative. The good one
with the academy, for example, with the academy, that's one thing that we are trying so much to envision, because we believe that some of those kids will go to America to become students and get their degrees, but some of them will go professional. So what we're trying to do is be able to give them a chance to develop their communication skills. Speak English. The more you speak English, the more you get better at it. So the thing is, you need to speak. Stop speaking Kalenjins over and over. Kalenjins is good. I love Kalenjin. Those are ngalal nandi kumie. Lakini ngoti ngalal nandi ongetega arona ko college. Mami TV ngolimba bitonin nao college ngalal nandi. Ang ngito linda imut chito agilega ngalal nandi agigonim translator.
Oh yeah. You get translators.
Go with your translator. Tell them mimi naenda kuongea Kinandi wakupe translator.
Exactly. Hata kama ni Kiswahili. Talk that Kiswahili.
You know Ethiopians, my friend, they know how to speak English. They cannot, but their English is broken. But unakuta Ethiopian atasema mimi siwezi ongea Kiswahili, I need a translator. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's the thing, like our Kenyans, if you cannot speak good English, don't struggle. It is not a sin to ask for a translator. Get a translator so that your story can be sold. The athletes have good stories, not us alone, not me. Every my story is to 1,000 of other athletes. That's our common denominator. We struggle. We are from a poor families. We come from a poor background. But if you don't tell your story, nobody will share your story. Tell your story. Be able to communicate well so your story can be sold. And when your story is sold, that's how you make money. People don't pay to watch skinny Kenyans run. They pay to watch a story run.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So before we end this show, I would want to appreciate your time first for really coming in and sharing your story. Someone calling it Julius, just as he's saying, oh yes, Mheshimiwa, I like the fact that you are going back to help others. Someone said it's not success if you doesn't assist another. Thank you very much. Someone actually is watching from Afghanistan. Ndugu yangu, hope you are safe where you are. So I want to give you an opportunity, Carren, as a young journalist working in a national TV station, to tell us, to tell something to that young girl in Nandi, where I come from, a place called Goris, down inside Nandi, someone in down in Nandi, someone in Kobujoy down in Nandi, that it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter the name. My family name wasn't known, but at least at the moment, someone knows Alfred at some point in time. But tell them the story, tell them that they can pursue anything that they really want, like Mheshimiwa said, with passion. And then also tell us your thoughts on the sports. What is the sport world in Kenya, and how you think after COVID it will be? And then I'll give an opportunity to meet you as well.
No, okay. So to everyone watching, everyone who would love to be a journalist, it's possible. It's a crowded place, but if you know what you have, what you're cut out for, you can actually go for it. I came here as a nobody. I came here as an intern, but today I was able to create something for myself, something that is still building. Bado niko jikoni. It's still being carved by God, but my life and the far that have come is just proof that no matter how, like, watu wako wengi pahali, if God says it's Alfred, it will be Alfred, and not Wesley, not anyone can come and take that away from you. So don't compete with people. Don't pull other people down at it because Wesley is up here. Now you want to pull him down so that you can go up. Do not wish people well, because the moment you wish people well, God blesses you more. And I will still insist on favor. Favor breaks all. It causes rules, regulations, authorities to favor you. Come on, mimi sina papers. Okay, I'll go to school, but God change that regulation, change that rule to my favor, and made Karen get a job. So if you walk with God, you won't go wrong. And if He's in control, nothing will go out of control. So continue trusting God in that hustle, whatever you're doing. Trust God. You are in school, you don't even know which career to take. Trust God, because He will just lead you to where you are supposed to be if you trust in Him. Sports is crazy. Sports is fun. It's a male-dominated area. We're not many women in the country. We're actually very countable because from K24 we have Wanjiko Mwenda, Sean Osimbo. Citizen, there's Mukami Wambora. NTV, there's Ida Waringa. In KTN, there's Linda Rotuno, my very good friend. Very countable ladies. We have Ruth, in Mad God TV. We have Lynette Matheka in People Daily. We have Masimbone in Milele. We are a handful, and we definitely need more women to come on board. There is space for everyone if you just know what you really want and go for it. So it's possible. You can be anything you want to be. Just put God first and be that go-getter. I don't believe in lazy people. Work hard, people. You need that interview with Wesley. Say it on live Facebook right now. Wesley, I am taking your number and I will call you and I will book that interview with you and you will give me that interview. Go for it. Coach Bernard Ouma, I want an interview and I want to do an exclusive in your house. Call him and go to his house, and he will give you that exclusive. Go for it. Don't be scared. Because, in Kenya, most people have not been doing exclusive with international athletes. But I was like, no, I will make sure, I will go look for these international athletes. And I went for Christian Taylor. I went for Thomas Roller. And this weekend, there's another international guest who will be coming to your screens. So it is possible.
Nasema pia huku
It is
Australia tuko
possible.
international
Yes, I will call you Alfred and you will tell me your story and you will give me that interview in Jesus' name. Go for it, people. You need something, go for it. Don't let anyone discourage you. You are cut out to be the best. It is only us who limit ourselves. You see, Wesley Korir amekimbia marathon and sasa mimi nitaweza kufika huko. No, go talk to Wesley. How did you do it? You did this, sawa. Now you go back, redefine it in your own way, with your own capabilities, and go do it. Because we all need mentors. Me, I've not been here with my own knowledge. I've had people who have mentored me. Look for good mentors who align with your vision, because there are people who will make you sway, utapotea, and you end up missing the mark. So look for good mentors and walk with them and listen and be very respectful and be very hardworking. Hey, and women, you don't have to open your legs to get what you want. You can work hard and get it. Yes, I know I'm with men here. Nyinyi wanaume, you might not be culprits here, but out there, they're culprits, So, women, it's possible. Men who also want to join media, it's very possible. I know, being a woman in this industry, they said that you must do football in order for you to be where you want to be. But I mean, I have a bias with athletics, and athletics has taken me far. Athletics ilifanya nikapanda ndege, Wesley. Hata pia mimi nimepanda ndege, but experience. Imagine. So we just thank God and don't forget to pray. Absolutely. Favor, God's favor is very important. God's grace is everything. I am a Christian. You might be a Muslim, you might be in whatever religion, but in whatever religion, stand firm, and whatever rules and principles that you have been given in your religion, stick by them. Do the right thing, and God will definitely not embarrass you, and He will set you apart, and He will put you before kings. Because no one in my family has done media. I was alone here. I didn't have anyone to, those ile baba yako anajua boss fulani, so anampigia, hey, saidia msichana wangu ako huko. I didn't have such. I had to work hard, and it was crazy. I felt sick. I got discouraged along the way. People discouraged me. You will never fika there. Hey, you see so and so. Kitambo ufike huko. I now talk to international journalists. I now talk to international many people out there. I didn't know God had prepared me for that. So do not limit yourself. God has set you out for something great. Let just God be the one to limit you. Atakwambia pana Alfred, baka hapa, do not, do not. Let only God be the one with that power to say do not. But for you, explore, and you'll be amazed at what you can do. So me, Alfred Wesley, my story is just a living testimony of God's power at work, and that He can qualify you for something that you actually thought you were not qualified to do, and He actually, sets you aside and actually uses you as a testimony that I am alive, I am here, I exist, and this is the power of my work. So yes, and the state of sports right now, it's quite unfortunate that most of our athletes have been, left to stay at home. The training is not, training nyumbani si rahisi. It's very different from training in camps and with your teammates. It's very different. So I just hope the athletes will, be disciplined in their home training, so that at least wakirudi, we will still see some level of competitiveness. We thank God, watu kama Wesley, by fire by force, wamepewa rest in order to get to heal from their injury. So athletes at home, we know it's not easy. You're not making money as you used to, but everything happens for a reason. Just train at home and make sure it is intense as possible, because hatutaki kurudi. We are now, football is back. Watu wamesahau kuchenga, watu wamesahau kufunga mabao. We don't want to see that. At least watu wakirudi, we just hope, we know the level of competitiveness won't be as high. It will take some few championships here and there, or some races, in order for guys to rudi back to form. But I pray that guys will be disciplined, and tukirudi back to normal, the level of competitiveness will be 10 times more. Absolutely. So yes, it's possible, and go for it. Work
Thank
hard.
you very much. Yeah, that was
yes,
really great.
I now hand it over to Wesley.
Wesley,
Carren, I have never met you, but I admire your courage.
Thank you. I'm still coming for the interview.
I think if there was somebody that I want my daughter to be like, is you.
Oh, thank you so much.
The confidence you have is in another level. I think I think the thing that I don't have much to say anymore, but because you have said everything, I think I just tell people out there, my friend, you want something, go get it. It is not where you come from that matters, but it's where you are going. It is not about. It is not about what you are born in. This is one thing I always tell people, and I tell my kids every day. I tell everybody, this house is mine. Those cars are mine. Everything I have is mine. Go look for yours. If you are born, if you are born in a rich family, those riches are not yours. They are for your father and your mother. They worked hard for it. Go get yours.
Go get your own.
If you're born in a poor family, that poverty is not yours.
And it's not permanent.
Is your mother and your father. You determine what you want to be in your life. Absolutely. So if you want it so bad, you are going to get it. Don't listen to anybody. I have been told so many times I cannot do it. I'm not good enough. Right? I have been told, don't do this. You cannot do this. Right now, I'm building a milk factory in Cherangany.
Wow.
And a lot of people have told me, you cannot compete with Brookside. You cannot compete with KCC. So what?
Network kidogo.
I think his internet imekwama.
Yeah. Let's give him a bit of time.
I'm going to build it, and I'm going to sell my milk. And Karen, when you have that goal and you have that thing, go for it. You'll fail a million times, but you'll get up one time and you'll succeed. If Jesus failed, when Jesus was going to the mountain, Golgotha, he fell 3 times. But for every time he went down, he got up. And that's how he was able to get to the hills and fulfill the will of God. So it doesn't matter how many times you go down. What matters is when you get up.
Yeah.
And guys, my kids want my attention now.
Yeah.
It's time for me to go play with the kids.
So,
perfect. You have to balance.
That was really kind of you to accept to come and share your story and be on AKL live show. We will still schedule live. I think we still have a lot to share. There's a lot of great things we still got to you. We will still invite you to come on board to share with us. And we are looking forward to that.
No, thank you so much for having me. And I've read you're doing a good job. And I hope you get many people, you give people a chance to give their story. And there's so many stories out there. Bring them on board. We watch you. We'll support you. And I'm telling everybody out there, let's support this show. Let's give them a chance to share their story. Like Karen say, in the media, you have a certain period of time. Like I have appeared in the media 1,000,000 times. But when you go to KTN, you have 5 minutes, 10 minutes to tell your story. You cannot tell it. But a show like this, whereby you have Facebook nowadays, everybody's watching, invite athletes, come here and share your stories, because your story can change someone's life. Share it.
It's true.
Share it, because you never know who is watching and who is listening. Maybe out there you will give a chance. You will give hope to a kid that was hopeless. You will give something to somebody. You don't have to give money. You don't have to be rich.
Oh yes, it's not a must.
Sharing your story. Sometimes it's about just giving somebody else hope that they can do it too. And that's all what we are going into this season. In this world, we are here for a season and for a reason. Find your reason, and you will live a happy life in this world. Thank you, everybody.
Before you go, Karen, before you both go, we just started a section whereby before our guest goes, you nominate someone you want to see or hear a story from here. So, Mheshimiwa, give us someone.
Oh, Karen, go first.
Karen, tupatie mgeni.
Conseslus Kipruto. He's never in the media.
Conseslus.
I want to hear Conseslus Kipruto's story.
And let me tell you this, Karen. Conseslus, I gave him his first, when he was an upcoming athlete, I gave him a t-shirt and a shoe when he was starting running. Yes. Wesley, he has to come here now.
Yes. He has to come here and tell us what he's up to.
There's a lady in America that was a student at Transcend. Right? This lady has a story, Alfred. You need to look for that lady. That lady, I don't know. I don't want to tell you the story, but she has a story, and I'm gonna connect you with her. She was a student at the Transcend. She had gotten married. She had dropped out of school. She had a baby, but she went back to school. She studied for 4 years in high school, and now she's in America. I'm gonna connect you to her, and I nominate her to come here because also she's a very good athlete, and she's going to win medals in future. So she's needs. I tell her every day, you need to tell your story. There's a lot of girls out there who are getting married and giving hope because they got married earlier. And I'm telling them, if you get married, it's not the end of everything. If you have a baby, it's not the end of everything. There's life after that. So she's coming.
Well,
that's the girl I nominate.
Yes, asante sana. And Karen,
so you have a man and a girl.
Yeah. And then I'll come back to you again. I'll be kindly hosting you with Wanjiku Mwenda. She's my friend on Facebook. I always follow her stories. She's encouraging. And Celestine Caronay. So I'm currently talking to Celestine Caronay.
That's my mentor, Wanjiku Mwenda.
And then tutaongea sasa as in the sports industry.
Jamaa hapa amesema anataka kuja kwa show, anaitwa Rock. Sijui ndo nani huyo. Amelia sana, amesema I want to join the interview. Hapo chini tena amesema
He's here.
He's here, bro.
Asanteni sana. Mungu awabariki.
Mungu awabariki.
So thank you so much for making time. I appreciate. Yeah, thank you for making that call.
Asante.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
And I'm humble, man. In your show, I got to be called by the legendary Kano himself. So I hope he will come to the show.
You should bring him too.
He will come to the show, the legend. Asante. Let us sign out.
Bye.
Asante sana.
I think you're the only one who can do that. Cancel us.
Oh, right. Mheshimiwa, asante bwana. Karen, asante sana.
Yeah, thank you.
So saying that pala hindi kaya sige nga let's kinaga mo sa my way check paging beto furani nga let's sa niyo yung karora na ni kaya ng rugo yun ano na bo natag ni ba Cherangany ako inandat ko yung mo ko representa na net ko Olympic sanan ko labas kanya net up Kenya ko como si no inandat may mo inandat ko wat ko le komite labat kango tit bumbe suma ano mo inandat ka lagi mo kay tayo net up America nakalagi po check angwan lagi nagay may spot kay tinandat kago nyor ko ralat no sa Carren Kibbet na tinago mo ko marakot kago mo inandat na let's check sa inandat ang station about 24 angot ko to so man inandat lagi ni ko sige nalaga position kamu inandat ko kita indoy meeting ko gitnya kita na tak meeting ni maksudnya imuji nyor amaga tari dia kas kita tinda agende sige mandeng live studio ba aka live on Facebook. Tinyoro kaga nyoro comment sida ni sinde bo itu kabisa mo ID nagele kama dinna nagele rock ala mi Alfred will bring you John Koskey kala acknowledge ambassador Sergeant. God bless you. This the starting point of the achievement. No hope is lost, my friend. Asante sana. Kama dinna nagele Hillary Alfred show. Asante sana bwana. Nashukuru. Kale jini gele meaning Arab kana kale Wesley has too much wisdom. I love the show. Asante sana bwana. Moko feel asante sana bwana. Kale jini gele the best to see. I see Olympian Jorada translation of course yes. Dinosius asante sana bwana. Daisy Diana Daisy Diana asante sana bwana. Asante sana. Don't forget, asante sana bwana for following great. The hard work you put in something in terms of this show. Asante sana working from the youngster. Asante sana Oliver. Asante sana Timothy. Okay, kila mtu nashukuru sana bwana. Thanks for following. Thanks for being with us. Thank you for putting all those comments for us. Yes. Tunajua tu Mwenyezi Mungu ametutoa mbali sana. Na tunamshukuru. Tumesikia story ya mheshimiwa venye maisha yake imekuwa ametoka mbali sana. Na pia sisi tuko mahali tutakuwa mahali. Tunashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu pale tulipo na tumuombe ili aweze kutuchukua mbele na tena zaidi. Na washukuru wote kwa kila siku mnakuja hapa kukaa pamoja na sisi na kufuatilia. I'm humbled. I'm really humbled. And I pray that this show will encourage and keep encouraging and will change the young generation and even those people who really listen. Humble is my way of giving back to the community. If I was in Kenya, I would have done something. But now that I wish and I will always be dedicated this hour to bring my friends and guests to reach out to my people and every person that will have me. It's actually midnight here, but I always give my time for my people. This is a way of giving back to society. And I appreciate all your comments, your time, your support. Those messages are really coming thick and fast every day, saying it's a great show. Let us support each other, and we will go far together. Asanteni sana. Tumwana ne magete tupiga pale njini mchukula la miti. Samite kuchale ja Kongo mitin. Kongo bigam Nandi, bigam Osoriot, bigam Lelmo kuwa. Ako yengo telinbo Lel Boy Nets, bigam Kobu Joy. Suguru. Ako ikabaga sabit Japan Nandi Hill. Kwa isagat solo chai gasi ni sig na tanyonge na kego lagi damo ay kasi na ba mjengo. Ngolin kwa isagat. Amwa gitalen. Get fiya gitensyon at na ba Jumapili nanan. Get una tat na ba Jumapili siya mo kanyo rusho aga na unita. Gositi kanyo rugi aga karan na tan miti ga ngalat ta pagit mo jere siya mo gongo ya mo gina gitsa ga aga kas. Agi next day. Kongo igonyo. Sere.